Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So I have been working on the engine bay, kind of getting everything sorted in here. I got a lot of stuff for here. As you guys have seen in the videos, we've done a lot of carbon, a lot of Venturi. We did some performance mods, some cosmetic. The last thing that we actually did was the Muscle Man oil thermostat. If you didn't check out that video, go check it out. It's an amazing modification. Not only does it look good, but it performs amazing. It's crazy how much lower the oil temps are from that modification alone. So I highly recommend it, not just because it looks good, but it actually performs and it's going to be great in terms of reliability for your S55. So go snag one if you haven't. I actually just also threw on the little V decals for the Venturi charge pipes. You can get them paint matched from IND if you want to your paint color, or you can get them any color you want. They paint them on for another fee. I think it's another 100 or 200 bucks just to get that done. But Venturi does include the red V decals, so you can just throw them on if you want. If you don't like them, you can take them off. But I didn't run them for a little bit, and they were included with the kit, so I was like, you know what, let me throw them on, see what I think, and if I don't, I can just take them off. But I kind of like it, simply because it matches the Venturi logo on the side of the engine cover, and it adds a little bit of color to the engine bay, and I think it looks good. I think blue would look really great as well with the caps, but hey, whatever. Those were included, so I'm going to leave them on there. Most likely we'll keep them on there until I get tired of it, but figured I would mention that since the video when I did install that, I didn't have them on, so I figured I would throw them on, see what I think, and go from there. Now, in terms of wheel updates, I'm waiting on tires. I actually went down the rabbit hole of deciding on tires and sizes and everything. I'm usually pretty good with getting the right tire size and getting everything set up and know what I want, but the specific tires that I wanted didn't come in the size that I need and everything, so I went down that whole rabbit hole of doing a ton of research, and I think I finally decided on a tire and a size. So those will be coming in soon. We'll be getting the TEs on the car, as well as everything over there, the suspension, exhaust, and all that stuff. We'll be getting that on the car very, very soon. I'm very excited for all of that because that is going to drastically change the overall look and feel of the car, also sound. So I'm looking forward to making videos on that very, very soon. But what I want to do in this video is actually install something on the interior. The F80 comes with the M Performance footrest, dead pedal, whatever you want to call it. It comes in stainless. The actual pedals over here are an option, so you would have to option those out if you wanted them to match. Not sure why they did that, but that's the case. So typically I'm a bigger fan of black pedals. I did a really nice set on my STI. They were black aluminum. It had a really nice detail and everything. I really like them a lot. You know, it was enough to notice the detail, but it wasn't in your face. And honestly, if the footrest dead pedal over here wasn't stainless, I probably would have found a really nice black set. Obviously, I can change it out, but the M Performance pedals are really nice. And I think for having such a kind of bland interior, just black, you know, there's nothing really crazy about it. I think the stainless pedals would look really nice. So I decided to pick up the matching M Performance pedals, and we have them over here on the workbench. So we're going to install these. It's a very, very simple install. IND does include all the screws and everything that you need to install these. It's a really different type of pedal that I've seen in terms of install. You actually get a whole rubber pedal and then a stainless cover to go on for the brake and the clutch. And then obviously for the throttle, the gas pedal, it's separate. This actually has some double-sided tape, kind of hard to see in there, but so use double-sided tape and screws, whereas these just slip on and you pop these little stainless covers on. Although you do need to drill some holes for these to go on. That's why they include the screws. So I'll go over the full install, go over everything, and show you how to install these. We're going to start with the gas pedal, the throttle. So let's open this up, get it out of the package, and I'll show you what screws to use, and then we can get to installing this one. All right, so here is the gas pedal, the throttle pedal, and if you look on the back, a giant piece of double-sided tape. But if you notice, there's two screw holes, so one here and one here. So mainly this is going to be held on by the 3M tape, but there are two screws that are exactly the same as this. I believe they're T15s. So if you look in the little package of screws that is included, if you buy this, at least from IND, and you're going to find these ones, the ones with the larger spaced out threads, and you're going to be using those in those holes. I believe these are T15 if I'm not mistaken. If it's not, I'll correct you guys once I'm installing it. In order to get these in the actual pedal, we're going to drill very, very small holes, very small pilot holes, and then we can screw these in so they can go directly into the stock plastic pedal. So let's go ahead, let's clean up the stock pedal in the car, and we can go ahead and get this installed. All right, so I'm going to spray the pedal down with some IPA, get it all cleaned up so there's a good surface for the 3M or the double-sided tape to stick to, and then we can mark our holes, make the little pilot holes, and we can get that on. All right, so I have the pedal. I'm simply just going to place it on the pedal. I'm not going to peel off the backing just yet, so I can mark my holes on the bottom and top, pull it off, drill the little holes, and then we can peel it off, stick it on, and screw it down. So let me go ahead and mark my holes that I'm going to drill, and then we can move on to the next step. All right, so I'm using a 3/32 drill bit, very, very small, very skinny. You don't want to drill it too big, obviously, because you do not want it too big where the screws are not going to catch. So a 3/32 I think is good. So let's go ahead, drill that hole, and we can get this one on. All right, so now we got the holes drilled out. I'm simply just going to peel off this backing, put it into place, and we can get the screws on. And yes, these screws are a T15, so I was correct. All right, so we got the throttle, the gas pedal installed. Super simple, very, very easy. The other ones are a little bit more, I don't want to say more difficult, but a little bit more involved simply because they're metal pedals and we actually have to drill holes into metal. Not that hard, but we will be removing the stock pads here. They simply just slip off. I'll show you how to do that. The clutch pedal is a little bit harder because the brake pedal has a large rubber tab on the outside. So I'll show you that once I take it off. Once we remove these, I'll bring them over to the workbench so I can show you the differences. And then we can go ahead and make our marks, make the holes, and get everything on. Wow, to my surprise, the clutch pedal is actually plastic. The brake is metal. So we're not going to have to worry too much about drilling into that because that's plastic, much easier. So this is the clutch pad, and then you can take a look at the brake pedal. There's that large plastic tab on the side of it. You can just simply pull that off. It came off easy, but the other one's just a little bit easier because of that tab. All right, so I'm going to clean up the stock pedals, the brake and clutch, make sure they're all good so it has a nice clean surface, and then we'll go over to the workbench and got everything sorted. All right, so we got the stock pedals off of the stock pads, and here's them side by side. Now, the M Performance pedals are in two pieces. These are the actual rubber pads, and then it has a nice kind of stainless cover that goes right over top like that. The little silicone kind of pops through so you get some extra grip. So it's a really nice design, and I think it's gonna look really good in the footwell and kind of add some nice detail, and obviously match the dead pedal. So that's what it's going to look like. The backs of them are very similar in terms of how you install them. However, if you look on back of the clutch pedal, there's only one side that has that lip because it's pretty hard to get these on when it has the full lip around there. So that's why it's like that. But we're also going to be drilling in to the pedal, so that's going to be held on very well. The brake pedal is exactly the same. It has the same actual little tab on the outside, so it's very, very similar, although it doesn't have the full lip around there. But again, these are going to be drilled down, so they're not going anywhere. So I'm going to go about this a little differently. I'm actually going to install the rubber silicone pads on first, drill the holes right through. Just obviously be really careful. You don't want to drill into the rubber, the silicone, but it should be pretty simple. I'm going to use the same size drill bit so I get a nice tight fit with the screws provided. You're going to be using these, I believe these are T15s as well, with the little nuts. These are nylon locking nuts, kind of hard to see, but the tip of it has nylon, so they're going to hold nice and tight. So yeah, let's go ahead, slip the pads onto the clutch and brake pedals, and get this all installed. so the M Performance rubber pads are on. Just make sure the lip is around the entire pedal. So feel on the back of it. You can feel if the lip has gone around. Just make sure that is in place properly before you drill, because you don't want them not on properly, drill, and then you're going to have all these extra holes, and it's going to be a mess. So make sure they're on. Just kind of feel around on the back. You can feel the lip around it, and you'll be good to go. So now I'm going to drill the necessary holes. So 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. Obviously the metal one's going to take a little bit more time, but just go slow, and you'll be able to get through no problem. So the holes are originally drilled, but realizing the screws provided are much larger, and those ones are threaded for the gas pedal, I'm going to have to drill a little bit larger. Then I'm going to use a new drill bit, 1/8, and make the hole a little bit bigger. These obviously don't need to catch into the hole. They just need to be big enough so the screw passes through. So let me go ahead, drill these out a little bit more. I removed the pads so I get a little bit better visualization of where the holes are. So let me go ahead and drill them out even more. All right, so I bumped it up to 9/16. Needed a little bit bigger. Go slow, you don't have to go fast, and it goes right through. All right, so I moved up one drill bit size again, 5/32, and that is perfect. The screw fits through the hole, no problem, as you can see. The other one that I did prior was a little too tight, and I wasn't able to kind of thread it in. So 5/32 is the way to go. All right, guys, install complete. Did a little vacuum, cleaned everything up, and they turned out beautiful. I will say putting the nuts behind is a kind of pain in the butt because you're literally doing it blindly. But what I did was I took my phone and laid it right here and reversed the camera, so I was able to see behind there, and I was able to see much easier. So if you have a mirror or a phone, you can do that and get that out, no problem. This one down here and that one on top is pretty hard to get the nut on because of the actual arm of the brake pedal, and also down here the arm of the brake pedal comes all the way down to the bottom, and it kind of comes in contact or gets really close to that screw, so you have to position it just right. But thankfully I drilled everything correctly, and thankfully I was able to get all the nuts on and everything tightened down nice and tight, and it looks great. Obviously matches the factory dead pedal that the car came with, and it looks very, very nice. And I think it adds a nice kind of detail to the interior. Obviously we have a very black interior, which is some color, but overall I think this is a really nice touch, and I'm happy I decided to go with the M Performance. Obviously they fit perfectly. It's an OEM option. You can get this directly from BMW, so there was no fitment issues or anything like that. Everything lined up perfectly, and it looks really good. And also I'm curious to see how these are going to feel because the actual rubber peeking through and on the sides of the pedal are obviously going to help with grip and feel a little bit better overall. I know installing pedals seems like the smallest thing, but it does enhance the overall driving feel. Any car I've ever done pedals to, which is pretty much every car I've ever owned, I actually even did it to my truck, my F150, it's a nice overall feel, so I highly recommend it. They're around 170 bucks, and honestly, I spent more on pedals on previous cars before, so having this as an OEM option and it being pretty reasonable, I had no problem picking these up. And again, they fit beautifully, and I'm really happy with it, so I'm excited to try them out. Also, another quick thing that I did the other day, I said I was going to update you guys when that came in, but I actually did the gloss black surround around the start stop button. As you can see, there is a gloss black ring around the start stop button now. It was a really simple install. I didn't have to remove anything. It literally just sticks right on over there. And I think it adds a nice little touch to it. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. That was only like 15 or 16 bucks, so nothing crazy. You can actually get them in different colors if you want, but I decided to go for the gloss black because of the gloss black trim on the steering wheel, so everything flows really nicely. I do wish they offered some type of kind of piece to go around here to get rid of the silver trim, but then again, if I did that, I would have to get rid of all the silver trim around everything, because that's kind of how I am. But I think it's a nice little touch, and I figured I would mention that because I said I was going to mention it in another video. All right, guys, so that is going to wrap up the video of the M Performance pedal install. It's exactly the same type of install. If you have DCT, obviously there's one less pedal, so it's the same kind of format. Obviously, you won't be doing a third pedal, but same process, and it looks just as great. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, we have 1,000 other things coming for this car: wheels, exhaust, suspension, got a special thing over there, a couple other things coming. So we are nonstop on this car. I am enjoying the process immensely. It has been such a pleasure to modify and kind of have fun with this car and not be so pressured to get videos out. I'm kind of really far ahead on videos, so it's nice to kind of just take my time, come in the garage, install a few things that I feel like doing that night, and get it knocked out. So looking forward to kind of not necessarily finishing the car, but getting it to where I want, getting it sitting right, getting it on the Volks and everything. It is going to be absolutely amazing. So if you guys are interested in picking these up, I will have a link below in the description so you can snag them if you want. But if you guys have any other questions about the car, please leave them in the comments below. In the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.